Hey gang, I'm Christopher Heimerman and it's great to have everybody here. You might notice that I'm standing upright, despite the fact that I ran a marathon this morning. I got a lot to talk about regarding the marathon. It was pretty awful. I think everybody would agree that running for 4 hours eventually hurts quite a bit. Hey Matt, good to see you. But it was weird. It was colder than I expected. When running due east, the wind was a brute, much heavier than I thought it was going to be. But really, what was so brutal was that whenever I got frustrated or I was in pain, usually that's the place on the marathon course where you got people with funny signs or ringing cowbells or cute kids or good-looking dogs, and there wasn't any of that out there today. The one thing I had going for me is my incredible wife, Kayla, and our daughters, Anna and Elise. Anna and Elise mostly spent their time riding around on scooters and asking me if they could show me something. But they also helped get me Gatorade, and Kayla rounded up more fuel when I needed it, and they just generally were awesome. And I mean, oftentimes I think I forget to mention that just because I get so used to them being awesome. Mad props to my wife and our daughters for just continuing to be amazing. But yeah, in terms of random strangers being out there wasn't that. And I've had a bit of a bum hamstring, so I started I started to feel a lot of pain around mile 10, which is usually really early for me. Usually, I don't hit the wall until, 19 or 20 miles like every other, human being. But I started feeling pain early and, I got a little bit discouraged. The pace hung around until like mile 16 or 17, and then it started to go down. But I was still on pace to beat my PR, so that was exciting. And that kept me going for a while until all of a sudden it didn't. I got to a little more than 21 miles and I'm on the trail. I've got my last loop that I'm doing, and I crumbled mentally. And I mean, it happens on a marathon course, but usually, with all the fanfare and pageantry, you just keep plugging on. And I immediately called Kayla and I said, I gotta walk. I kind of gave up a little bit. Walked with her for a little while, then she and the girls hopped in the car and I walked a little bit more, and then I figured, well, I missed my PR, so I might as well try jogging and see what happens. And it hurt really, really badly, but I got going again. I jogged a mile and a half, 2 miles, something like that, and then walked a bit more, and then I had like 2 miles left, and I was like, let's just finish the thing. Let's run. Or, somewhere between jogging and running. And it was kind of wild that like all the pressure came off of hitting that number, and I borderline enjoyed running those last couple of miles. Usually I don't have that in a marathon. There's like this massive disappointment if I don't hit a specific number. And today was just different. Today, just finishing a marathon with nobody else around and all that loneliness and stuff, that felt very satisfying. Yeah, I mean, it was satisfying, but it was altogether it was weird. I'm standing here doing this, and I told everybody that I might end up sitting while I do this, because usually my body's just shredded after a marathon. But I'm standing here, and I just told Kayla, it was like, I don't feel physically as wiped as I usually do after a marathon. I was like, that's frustrating because, that means that I had more left in the physical tank. I could have left it all out there a little bit more, as the old sports cliche goes. And I didn't, because, it came down to the mental toughness was really hard to keep up. So, I have that opportunity to feel disappointed or beat myself up, and I'm not going to do it. If you've seen previous videos, I've talked about how I spent a lot of my life beating myself up, and how I've gotten a lot better at that, and that my mental illness is a major reason why I did turn into an alcoholic. So I'm not beating myself up. I'm also aware, though, of a trapping, and this is going to lead into tomorrow's video, that there's the whole now what thing going on. And I haven't talked in depth about hitting the wall. And whether you battle addiction or if a loved one does, you gotta know about the wall. That's the place in recovery where things are going great. You're feeling all the feelings again, and it's awesome and amazing. You're sleeping through the night, and all of a sudden you plateau. And it's like, okay, well, things aren't getting better anymore. It's just good. Is this all there is? So I'm going to talk about that tomorrow, because it's going to be fresh in my mind now that I have run this marathon, which was something that I really had to look forward to. It's like, okay, now what? There's something about us runners. Whenever we're training for something, we function better. We're happier. So yeah, we're going to do the lakefront marathon in the fall. But until then, it's like, oh, okay, I need to... Especially in these times where there's flat out less to do and less people to see and stuff to get out there and do. Now what? So let's talk about the wall tomorrow. What do you say? It's a thing. It's a major thing in recovery, and so I'm very cognizant of it, and I know that this is a wall I'll have to get through a little bit. So I'm glad that you'll be with me for it. As always, I'm glad you're along on this journey. And yeah, it's a beautiful day today, so I really appreciate you guys, hopping in here. I hope it's as gorgeous there as it is here. So yeah, enjoy your day. And thanks for popping by. And I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow. The world is not coming apart. We're coming together. Love you all very much. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.